obviously just, tough loss for our football team. And, it kind of gets back to this rivalry. It's basically what it's advertised, tough, hard-fought games. And, they're unpredictable. And certainly over the last X amount of years, it's been really close. And they played a really good game. Credit to them, compliments to them, the way they competed. Did a great job, and we came up short. So, the most important thing, it's going to hurt for a while, and we're going to have to move forward and see what we can do to, build off of this. And I'll get to that in a second. But, just a couple takeaways. In the first half, our defense played really well. Came up with 2 field goals. One was off really good field position. The other was after a really nice drive. And I had an opportunity, at least on one of those, maybe to get a touchdown and to come up with 2 field goals there. It's a couple missed opportunities and, came back and got us a little bit. And then, we threw a pick in the first half, the start of the second half, which was not a total calamity. We, gave them the ball in the plus or minus 25. They had 75 to go. But really what happened there, they had a couple possessions where they moved the ball and scored touchdowns to their credit. I was happy with the way the offense responded after their first touchdown. We came back and drove it and answered with a touchdown, so that was certainly encouraging. But, just came up short here at the end. They did a good job moving the ball, and credit to their field goal kicker. A 55-yard field goal is, a pretty impressive effort on his part. So we played cleaner football. Had the 1 turnover, a couple penalties, but certainly cleaner, 2 penalties, I guess. I thought our guys played hard. I thought they prepared hard, and so that's kind of it in a nutshell right now. The biggest thing right now for our football team, we still got 12 weeks in front of us, 10 games, and you never want to lose a game, certainly. But the biggest thing is, like any time of the season, it's how you're going to respond to it, and it's important for our guys to understand. I think we have a good football team here. We have good leadership, good coaching staff. And, win, lose, or draw, you got to move forward and respond. So this one's going to hurt for a while, but we'll move forward and learn from it tomorrow and go back to work on Monday. I'll throw it out for questions.
Start with Tom. Tom Kakert, Hawkeye Report. Kirk, can you there's different philosophies on the going for 2 and when you go for it. Can you explain your decisions there?
Yeah, I think maybe the debate would be, is it too early, that type of thing. That put us at 19-7. Thought it gave us our best chance to win the football game, and to me the bigger issue is us not at least getting 1 touchdown out of those 2 field goal opportunities. And we had the ball down inside there close, so that's obviously an area we're going to have to improve on.
Kirk, Elliott Clough, Hawkeye Beacon. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Cade went 4 of 20 for his last 20 passes.
Probably no better than I. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Did something maybe go awry? Were they doing, getting after him in the back? Like, what did you see there?
Yeah, football's a game of momentum and swings, and they've played good defense ever since Coach Campbell and Coach Haycock got there. So they made it tough on us. They made it tough, and we probably missed some plays, maybe some misreads or missed some plays where we maybe could have averted that. But that's going to be part of football, and we'll have to ride that a little bit. But as I said last week too, I think I've been saying it for a while now. He's working his way back. He's still trying to get back in game shape, if you will, or game mode, and he's working hard. And I think confident he'll do just fine.
Post game in the locker room, describe to us what you said to the team.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can't say. So, you can't make anybody feel any better, and when you work hard, and everybody's got a lot invested in this game. It's a big game for everybody in the state. Certainly no bigger for anybody than the players on both sides and the coaches. So after a loss like this, it's tough, and there's not much you can say to make anybody feel better. And that's the first thing you say. And it's gonna hurt for a while, but at some point we've got to turn our attention to learning from it. And then the most important thing again is going to be flipping the page, and that's sometime tomorrow night or Monday morning for sure, and move on to the next opponent.
John Seppi, Cedar Rapids Gazette. You've had now one game with Cade that went well, another that hasn't gone so well. Where do you kind of see things standing at the quarterback position with him and Brendan moving forward?
Probably the way I did coming into the stadium today. I think we expect him to be our quarterback and expect some ups and downs. I've been saying it pretty consistently. He's still working his way back into shape, and as our whole team with the offense and whatever. But we'll get better. We'll improve. Our guys have a great attitude. He's got a great attitude, and we'll work through this.
Great, Coach. Chris Magler, the Daily Iowan. Caleb Johnson obviously had a really good game, around 200 total yards. Despite losing this game, can you just talk about what he did for your team today?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's part of football. He's played well for us the last 2 years, but he's playing at a much higher level right now. Part of that's maturity. His focus is better. He's practicing better. I think that's experience and maturity. He's been here a couple of years. He's run the football, worked hard to get better, and it's showing out there in the field. He made some really nice plays today, and it's one thing to be encouraged about. I think there's a lot to be encouraged about. Now we just got to pull it all together and get it to mesh and gel.
Coach Dan Stacy, Sportscast Media. Do you make any major changes this week in practice, or is it business as usual after or this coming week? Do you make any main nothing?
No, just do things a little bit better, and it's like any time. Just the whole, whether we win or lose, the idea is to get a little bit better, take the experiences that we've gained, and you talked about this last week. Game experience is different than practice. So this is a whole other chapter here for us to learn from. And the biggest thing is, what can you take away from that? What do you learn in the meetings tomorrow when we look at the tape? And then you make your improvement during the week of preparation, and then hope it shows up when you compete the next opportunity. Yep.
Scott Docterman, The Athletic. I wanted to ask you about your 2 red zone opportunities inside the 5 that ended up with field goals. Seemed like, I think, both drives up until the final play of the second one, you had either 23 personnel, 14 personnel, just depending on how you classify one of the players. Was that the plan kind of all week, that when you got in that position, you wanted to go with that kind of personnel grouping, and kind of what's your ultimate thought about that going forward?
Sure. Yeah, in a general sense, that'd be the answer. But then you always have, plan B and C, just in case. And it depends how the game's going, what those situations look like. And, we'll obviously be reevaluating that again after tomorrow when we look at the film and see what we need to do better. But it's just an ongoing thing. Yeah, but you want to have those things available certainly down in there. Things are pretty tight, and there are a couple plays there that obviously we could have executed better that pushed us back, set us back. So, that's going to be part of the challenge as we go forward.
Chad Leistico, Des Moines Register. Obviously, every yard mattered at the end there. You took a delay of game instead of calling timeout right before your last punch. Was that something you thought about? What was your thought process, I guess, in letting the clock expire, and then, of course, they get the ball?
Yeah, we weren't going to go for it there. It was just, we're going to have to punt the football, so yardage really wasn't.
Why not?
We could have. I didn't think yardage was very significant at that point in the field, where we're at midfield. So 6 to 1.5 doesn't really, there's really no benefit. Unless I'm missing something, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing your question.
Behind midfield, was that 41 maybe, something like that?
Yeah, he could punt the ball at the end zone. It didn't matter. The yardage really wasn't important. But to your point, we could have. We took a couple timeouts home with us. So,
Coach John Sears, WHO-TV. Every loss stings, but when you have a game like this where you're up 13 at half, mentioned the 2 red zone opportunities, final drive, just needed a first down. Something like this sting a little more because it felt like you let it slip away when it was there to be had.
Yeah, both teams had opportunities. Credit to them for fighting back the way they did. But they all sting, first of all. And, I guess given a choice between losing a game like this or just getting blown out, I think I'd rather be in a competitive game, but it hurts regardless. And the biggest thing, again, it's going to circle back to what are we going to learn from this? What are we going to take away from this, and how can we be better in the next, next time we're in a game like this? Because we'll be in more of these. It's just the way it goes.
Take a couple more.
Kirk, Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. I can't imagine there's been too many halves that opposing teams have scored 20 on the defenses. What did you maybe see Iowa State do to kind of make that happen?
Basically, those first 2 possessions, the first 2 touchdown drives. One was a big play, a single big play. The second one, I believe, and the other one was two plays that really hurt us. We let the wingback tight end out. He made a big conversion, and then we let 18 run down the seam too. So those are 2. That's the part that's just like not scoring when you get the ball inside the 5, scoring a touchdown. Conversely, on defense, we really try to defend against big plays, and that's good evidence of why. You want to make the other team work, and that to me is a bigger story there. Just the inability to defend those on those 2 possessions. rest of the game we were doing pretty well. But it's it's a 60-minute game, and it's just part of the learning curve for us.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Kirk, this team has been historically pretty great, especially when they've got an 8-point lead. I think the stat's something like 72-2. Did anything sort of feel different about this game as that second half was going along? Did it, or I don't know? I guess what was sort of different this time around?
Well, I mean, no, not really. It, like I said, they got their first touchdown, and I was really happy with the way we responded. We took it, whatever it was, 79 yards, I guess, for a touchdown drive. So that's what you're looking for. Things are going to happen. I mean, we're playing good teams, so they're going to have plays too and make plays. So that response was really good. Then we weren't good enough the rest of the way to respond or continue to respond the way you need to. Even our last possession, if you can get one more first down, now it's never an issue of punting down there. So just little things like that. We'll see all those tomorrow and talk about all those tomorrow. And typically when you lose a game, that's the way it goes. There are certain things you can point to that are going to make a big difference. And, sometimes those things get disguised or, masquerade a little bit when you win games, but that's really the difference in a game, making them chunk it instead of, go to 10 plays instead of, 1 or 2 plays, that type of thing.
Last question. Kirk, both of these games, game against Illinois State and this game, both have been a tale of two halves. Is there anything that you guys could do to just finally put a whole game together, a consistent game together, or is it just kind of sticking to the game
we were
plan?
trying to do that each and every game, and that's just how football goes sometimes. It's hard to predict how it's going to play out. Every game's a little bit different, and every scenario can be different. So, the bottom line is you're just trying to do your absolute best in all circumstances to, you're going to have to weather tough times, and we're going to have more of those coming during the season. And then, when you do get an opportunity to go and, be opportunistic, having the ball down inside the 5, we need to come away with touchdowns because it's like walking a guy in the 9th inning in baseball. Usually that comes back and gets you. It's amazing how that goes. And things like that early in the game especially can be, be consequential.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you. See you on Thursday. Yep. Or Tuesday.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Walks will haunt.